Milwaukie, Oregon, it's one of the most up-and-coming suburbs in the Portland metropolitan area. I actually grew up here, so I know it pretty well. I'm going to take you around town, show you around a little bit, and you're going to know it a lot better after this video. All that starts now. Hey everyone, Seth Marchant with the Home Team Brokers here. If you're new to this channel living in Oregon, we show you what it's like to live in Oregon, show you the lifestyle, and in this video I'm going to take you around Milwaukie, Oregon, which is a suburb of the Portland metropolitan area. If you want to see more videos like this and get a better feel for what it's like to live in Oregon, what it's like to live around Portland, hit the subscribe button, tap the bell, make sure you get notified each time we drop a new video, which is about twice a week. And if you're somebody that's thinking about moving to this area, as realtors, we love to help. You can give us a call, send us a text, shoot us an email, or if you're coming from out of town, you can click the link below to schedule a Zoom. All right, let me show you around Milwaukie. All right, so I am at Bay Park in Milwaukie, which is in Clackamas County. We're just minutes from Portland. Highway 99 goes directly through Milwaukie, and we're right across from the downtown. I'll show you that here in just a moment. I'll drive you through that area so you can see a little bit better as to what it looks like. This area is really up and coming because if you put a radius around Portland, maybe 5, 6, 7 mile radius, you probably won't find any areas or any neighborhoods that are going to be less expensive than Milwaukie, and there's a lot of nice homes here. There's 2 high schools here, Milwaukie High School and Putnam High School, 2 middle schools, and maybe a half dozen elementary schools, all pretty highly rated. So being a nice area, great schools, a lot of nice homes here. And again, you're not quite paying those Portland prices. It's kind of gone up a little bit in the last few years because it is so up and coming. The 2 zip codes here in Milwaukie have been probably 2 of the hotter zip codes in the Portland metropolitan area in the last few years, for that close proximity and all the amenities that this area has to offer. So it's maybe not quite the value that it was a couple years ago, but it's still definitely one of the most inexpensive, if not the most inexpensive, within, like I said, about a 5 or 6, 7 mile radius of Portland. Milwaukee's got a lot of shopping. It's got pretty much all the shopping and restaurants that you could want, so you probably won't find yourself having to venture out too much. We're right next to Clackamas Town Center. You may have saw that in our Happy Valley vlog, and if you haven't, you can check that out here. There's a Trader Joe's in the area, always a common question. One thing to note about Milwaukie, I mentioned there's 2 zip codes here, 97222 and 97267. Google and probably a lot of other places, I think, labeled 97267 as Portland. It's really not. It's Milwaukie. Everybody that lives there considers that Milwaukie. I'm not sure when like a Google or whoever made those changes, but it's still Milwaukie. So if you're looking online for homes for sale and you're searching simply by zip code or maybe just by Milwaukie, you might miss out on that little area, 97267. It's actually not little. It's probably about half the size of 97222. So there's maybe 25,000 people in each area or so roughly. And if you actually look at the boundaries of 97267, it doesn't even touch Portland. So that's a little kind of key note. If you're searching online for homes for sale, make sure that you hit both of those zip codes. Another point on that too, if you're looking at homes for sale, you also have Gladstone, which is just sandwiched right kind of in between Milwaukie and Oregon City, kind of Clackamas as well, and that's a really small area. Homes there are even less expensive than Milwaukie. That's not some place that probably shows up on the radar for too many people. So if you are looking in the Milwaukie area, you might include Gladstone in your search as well. The types of homes you're going to find here, and those are going to be, as I'm shooting this, like low 500s, maybe kind of creeping up towards the mid 500s, which is more kind of Portland prices right now, mid to higher 500s. A lot of mid-century ranches, you know, 1 level, 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom, some 4 bedroom, 2 bathroom. There is a little bit of new construction here. Cheragino Farms is currently a new subdivision here that they'll be building new houses in for at least a couple years, and those are going to be like 4 or 5 bedroom homes. You can also find homes along the river. Now on the other side of the river is Portland, and right on the border kind of is Lake Oswego. The homes here on this side of the river in Milwaukie still going to be pretty expensive. There's some really large homes, and there's probably some pretty average sized homes too. Not a ton, so those are few and far between. But if you do want to be down on the river, if you're a boat person or, you know, what water sports person, whatever it may be, you can find homes along the river here. All right, so now I'm gonna take you around town. I'll take you downtown so you can get a feel for what the downtown looks like and show you some of that drone footage so you can get a better feel for how everything's laid out. And I'll take you around some of these neighborhoods too so you can kind of see what these neighborhoods look like. Again, this is Highway 99. And just across from Highway 99 is downtown Milwaukee right there. It's pretty small, but I'll take you through it real quick, make a few stops, and show you the town. So this is actually just facing north of Milwaukee. So we're just north of that park that we were at, Bay Park. You can see that bridge up top, that is Selwood Bridge. If you run that west to east, that's really kind of the border between Milwaukee and Selwood is just a little tiny community in between Portland, and you can kind of see Portland there on the skyline. You can see that tall building, that's the tallest building in Portland, the US Bank building. We're currently flying over Waverly Golf Club. It's one of the more exclusive communities in the Portland metropolitan area. There's a handful of houses here, and you'll kind of see that as we turn the drone back around to face towards Milwaukee. The homes are not small homes, and there's not a ton of them, and they don't come in the market very often either. But if you are interested in this area, it's known as Waverly. It's a part of Milwaukee. It's definitely an older demographic that you'll find down there too. You can actually, we mentioned this I think in our top retirement places video for the Portland metropolitan area. So there's a lot of retired people in there, but as you can kind of see looking below, not small homes, so not exactly your downsizer home. So if you are looking for a very large home in a really discerning, quiet area, Waverly might be a good spot for you. So now facing back towards downtown Milwaukee, you see the Willamette River right there on the right. Just below, we've got some condos and apartments. I think there's also an assisted living right there, but a lot of what you're going to see around downtown Milwaukee is residential. A little bit of commercial surrounding downtown Milwaukee, but not too much, mostly residential. And on the right side, you can kind of see that Bay Park that we were just at. You see that green space that we're coming up upon. Milwaukee does have quite a few parks, small and big, similar to a lot of the top suburbs around the Portland metropolitan area. It's known for a handful of different things. There's a brewery actually called Breakside Brewery that's an international award-winning brewery. Bob's Red Mill is also in Milwaukee. You can probably find Bob's Red Mill products all throughout the country. You do also have Dark Horse Comics, which is founded, and they still have an office down there in Milwaukee. Not the household name, I don't think, as Marvel Comics, but if you're into comics, you probably recognize that name, Dark Horse. And I'll take you down below, and we'll drive down through the main road through downtown here in just a moment, so you can kind of see what it's like on the ground. You can also kind of start to see in the upper left the football field for Milwaukie High School. So Milwaukie High School is right next to the downtown. The other high school, if you see that main highway that I've mentioned below, that's Highway 99. And this stretch of 99 throughout Milwaukee is known as McLaughlin. If you keep going down McLaughlin, maybe a couple miles, you'll get to the next high school, which is Putnam High School, and I'll show you that towards the end of this video. So again, now getting above downtown Milwaukee, it is very small. There's not a whole lot to it. It has kind of grown up over the years. It's a little bit different than when I was growing up there. And now you're kind of starting to get a better look at the high school. High school is pretty old. It was built before, in the early 1900s, I think something like the 1920s, but it's totally been renovated, and it's basically a brand new high school at this point. I think all those renovations were done about the past 10 years or so. And then beyond Milwaukie High School, kind of headed towards that direction, you're eventually going to reach Happy Valley. That's where you'll find the Trader Joe's, as well as the Clackamas Center and a lot of your other shopping. So like I mentioned, Milwaukee has a lot of shopping that's either going to be close to town or just right next to town, so you won't really find yourself traveling too far for shopping. And you do also have a major hospital nearby as well. All right, so let's turn this around and face back the other way towards downtown Milwaukee, towards the main street of downtown Milwaukee, before I take you down there on the ground in just a second. And again, right there, Highway 99, you're probably just 10 minutes outside of Portland. So this proximity to Portland and so many other things, being right here on the river, really nice, really quaint, kind of charming suburb of the Portland metropolitan area is why Milwaukee's become such a desirable area, especially in the last few years. All right, let's go take a drive around town. All right, so now we're kind of starting on the north side of town on the main street. All that to the left you see right there is new. You've got some commercial space and some residential space in there. That actually used to be a Safeway right there when I was growing up. So all that stuff to the left is brand new. Got some good restaurants in there. Ohana Hawaiian Cafe is great. And then coming up on the left here, you've got City Hall just immediately to the left. And then the rest of this is going to be mostly just retail shops and some restaurants here and there. That Dark Horse Comics that I mentioned, they've actually got 2 locations here in downtown Milwaukee, and they've been there as long as I can remember, since I was a kid. That first one's on that corner on the left right there by the bus, and there's like a life-size alien or a predator from the movie Alien and Predator. You can't really see it, not that well at least, maybe a little bit in those glass windows on the left right there. And then all the way towards the end of Main Street, we are going to stop at the food carts, which is kind of like a lot of places in the Portland metropolitan area, is a little bit newer. I'll take you through the food carts from Milwaukee so you can see what those look like. And then finally, I'm going to take you further up McLaughlin, up Highway 99, where that zip code I mentioned earlier, 97267, where that is, that's also where Rex Putnam High School is. A lot of that area of Milwaukee really kind of revolves around that Highway 99 McLaughlin area, and you'll definitely be able to get a better feel for it once I take you back up in the area from the drone footage. You'll see that a lot of that kind of area sort of revolves around McLaughlin because you've got a ton of commercial space. You've got a lot of car dealerships actually up and down McLaughlin, and you're going to see there's a bunch of strip malls, so a lot of people are kind of doing their shopping that live in that part of Milwaukee up and down McLaughlin Boulevard. And then just to the left, kind of on the other side of this building here, is where you're going to find the food carts. We'll circle around this building, go underneath the bridge, and show you what that looks like. Just beyond that, on the other side, is also Milwaukie High School. So again, we're really close to the high school. So the high school is walking distance to downtown Milwaukee. A lot of kids walking down there for lunch. I remember doing that when I was in high school. So kind of a fun thing to do for high school kids, especially since you're not really used to ever being able to leave a school campus. All right, so we're going to go left right here, and we're going to find the food carts on the left, and then I'll take you right through the food carts. So these food carts were put in here about 5 years ago. So I haven't been here for too long, maybe even less, maybe more like 3 years. A lot like the Portland metropolitan area, food carts are the new thing to put in. So they're usually newer if they're outside of like the Portland proper area. But you've got sandwiches, Filipino, gyros, sushi, burritos, Thai food, barbecue, Mexican. You've got a cart with beer and wine, of course, as well. And then you can see you've got a covered area with picnic tables, some umbrellas here and there. You've got restrooms, hand washing stations, and then as you saw, there's parking nearby. So pretty good little food cart area. I think it's been pretty successful since Milwaukee added this in here a few years ago. And if you're wondering what I got, I went to the Thai place. It's pretty much just chicken and rice. I got their ginger dish. It's pretty good, no complaints. Everything seemed fresh. Looks like there was a gentleman right there that helped me. Don't have any pictures of it, but reasonably priced. Didn't take too long, so good experience all in all while I was here. Now I'm going to take you through some of these neighborhoods that are just down the street. Like I mentioned, a lot of homes built mid-century up until the 90s, and then I will take you through a new subdivision so you can kind of see what some of this new construction looks like. As I'm shooting this right now, there's about 70 homes in the market, and we're getting towards the peak of the market in the summertime. Usually peaks kind of right before school starts, so people like to get it settled in by August for school to start in September. We're still in that 97222 zip code. Like I mentioned, average home values are lowish to mid 500s. That other zip code, 97267, that one's going to be further up McLaughlin. It's also going to be, it's going to have more property along the Willamette River, which you will find some very large and very expensive homes on the river. A lot of homes you're probably not finding much for under 7 figures along the river in Milwaukee, so that's going to kind of drive up the average home value. So that other zip code, you'll probably find that average home value might be closer to 600. although most of the homes that you're going to find in the area are just going to be the same as these ones right here. And I'm actually going to circle you around here so you can kind of see what the high school looks like, kind of running by the front of the high school before we continue along down through some of these neighborhoods, and you can see what more of these homes look like. And now we're just skipping back out on the road that we were initially on here, driving down, which is Lake Road. And we're actually going to come up to one of the middle schools, which is Rao Middle School on the right side here. I mentioned there's 2 middle schools, Milwaukie, which is in downtown Milwaukee, where we just were, and then you've got Rao Middle School here on the right. If you go to Milwaukie Middle School, you're going to go to Milwaukie High School. About half of the kids that go to Rao Middle School go to Milwaukie. The other half go to Putnam High School, Rex Putnam High, which we'll see in just a moment. But before we do, we're going to turn down one of these streets and kind of give you a little feel for what these homes look like throughout this neighborhood. So now turning down the street, again, really close to Rao Middle School, just past Milwaukie High School. You kind of see on the left there, a lot of the typical homes, probably built sometime mid-century, 1-level ranches, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. And then here on the right side, with the sidewalk, you've got some of that newer development stuff, probably built more like in the 90s, maybe more like you'll find some occasional like 4 bedrooms, 2 stories, getting into a little bit more square footage. And as I'm shooting this, there's about 70 homes currently on the market. And about half of those are going to be kind of right around that average value of maybe low 500s to high 600s. Maybe you'll find some under the 500s as well, if that's a little bit above your budget. But if you're looking to move to this area, although we do generally have low inventory and it is still currently a seller's market, there is a fair amount of inventory. The market is slowing with rising interest rates, so there are some more choices for you out there. Not as much competition, not as many bidding wars out there, so a little bit easier to maybe find exactly the home that you want right now. And then we'll head back up to Lake Road, that road that we drove in on here. We'll skip ahead a little bit and take you to Cherigino Farm. So this new subdivision here used to be a farm. It was a berry farm. I always remember people out here picking berries when I was growing up. So a large farm, as you'll probably see as we turn in here, because there's quite a few homes in here. These are supposed to be kind of larger homes with like luxury type finishes. I'm not sure exactly how many homes are in here, but they're going to be building in here for a while. There's homes currently on the market here. And a lot of these homes are going to be like 4-bedroom. You might find a few 3-bedroom, might find a few 5-bedroom, but mostly that 4-bedroom, like 2,500 square foot, maybe 2.5 bath type of home. So these are really nice homes. Milwaukie does give you quite a variety of different types of homes, from older mid-century. You're not going to find some of that real old stuff that you might find like in an Oregon City, like early 1900s. Mostly mid-century is kind of the older stuff that you'll find, but still find a pretty good variety of homes throughout Milwaukie. All right, and then finally, like I mentioned, I'm going to take you to the other part of Milwaukie, all the way up McLaughlin towards Oregon City. We'll start some drone footage and start by showing you the high school first. So where we are here is about 2 miles from downtown Milwaukie up Highway 99. What you can kind of see, that football field with the yellow lettering in the back there, that is Rex Putnam High School. Sort of like Milwaukie, it's an older high school that's largely been renovated, so it feels pretty new. It is a top-rated school. It's a great school. A lot of friends that went there. I went there as well as Milwaukie High School. So I know them both good schools. And if you're looking further back up in the hills there, you can kind of see that hump on the skyline there. That direction, that's going to be Oregon City, and that's going to be the top of the hill for Oregon City. And then kind of just beyond that, as you look back towards the river, on the other side of the river is going to be West Lynn and the top of the hill in West Lynn. So as we move this direction, kind of get a feel for some of those neighborhoods down there. Not too much new construction in this area. Again, this is all stuff that was built kind of between the 50s and the like early to late 90s. And then once you kind of get out here to Highway 99, again known as McLaughlin, in this part of the town, you're going to start to see all of that kind of commercial, maybe some industrial here and there, but a lot of commercial spaces, a lot of car dealerships all up and down McLaughlin. So a lot of people traveling throughout the Portland metropolitan area to look for cars here kind of congest the area a little bit, but it's probably not too congested. As you can kind of see, it's really not too bad. You don't get a ton of bumper to bumper on McLaughlin right here, kind of despite how congested the entire area is. You have a lot of people sort of converging on all this shopping right here. And then on the other side of McLaughlin, you can't really see it, but that's where you're going to come to the Willamette River again. Again, there's a bunch of houses along the Willamette River, and the other side there is West Lynn. And now we're facing back north towards Milwaukie. Again, that's going to be about 2 miles before you kind of get to downtown Milwaukee. So I hope that gives you a better feel for Milwaukee and how it's laid out and all that it has to offer and what it looks like. If you're thinking about moving here, if you have questions, you can give us a call, send us text, you can email us, you can click the link below in the description if you want to schedule a Zoom with us. And if you want to see more videos like this about what it's like to live in Oregon, what it's like to live in the Portland metropolitan area, and what certain suburbs are like, make sure and hit the subscribe button, tap the bell, and that way you'll get notified each time we drop a new video. All right, take care, everyone.